Hi and welcome to A World of Words. Today I'm going to do the Totally Should've book tag. This tag was created by the awesome Emma from Emma Books, and I'll link her original video down below. So this tag is pretty self-explanatory once you get into it, so I'm just gonna get started. Question 1 is totally should have gotten a sequel. This one is tough because I generally like to pick up series. I don't generally read a lot of standalones because I like to be able to spend more time in the world. And most of the standalones that I have read I am pretty satisfied with. Or I didn't even like it that much and I don't even want a sequel. But Avalon High by Meg Cabot, while it was technically continued as a manga series, I really didn't like the drawing style and none of the characters actually looked like they were described in the book. It just didn't have the awesomeness of a Meg Cabot book, so I'd really like this to be continued in book form, please. Question 2 is totally should have had a spin-off series. Harry Potter. Yep, this one. Question 3 is an author that should totally write more books. Honestly, I don't have an answer for this because all of my favorite authors are currently working on more books, so I'm good. A character who totally should have ended up with someone else. Huh. I think I agree with all of the final pairings in my favorite series. Either that or the series isn't over yet, like say the Throne of Glass series or the Dividers series, so I don't even know what the final pairings are. But if I'm allowed to talk about TV in the show One Tree Hill, and you might want to mute this if you haven't seen season 6. So I actually always kind of preferred Brooke and Lucas together because they just always seemed to have more fun. But I actually knew going into it that Lucas was going to end up with Peyton, so totally should have ended differently. Allegiant. But I also have to say the Gemma Doyle trilogy by Libba Bray. For the most part, this had a spectacular ending and the series is so wonderful. It's about a girl in the 1800s at a finishing school for girls, but it turns out that she can create a portal to this kind of like a fairy realm type place full of magic and everything. So she takes her 3 best friends there and they have like all these adventures, and it's just well written and really funny and really action-packed with amazing plot twists. But there was one character death that it didn't need to end that way. Totally should have had a movie franchise. The Lunar Chronicles. It's still a fairly new series, so it's still a possibility. These books would be phenomenal movies. Scenes are just so easy to picture that it would translate really well to film. I could go on, but this series, it needs to happen. Totally should have had a TV show. The Mediator series by Meg Cabot. This is another of my all-time favorite series. It's funny, action-packed, has amazing characters. It starts off pretty much like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but with ghosts, and then it goes off into this completely different direction that is just, it's so amazing. I've lost track of how many times I've read this series. I really think that Joss Whedon and Meg Cabot need to team up and make this TV show happen. I swear people will love it. I'd even write it for them. I would not mind that at all. Totally should have had only one point of view. I am all about multiple perspectives in books, so I don't really ever want to say that a book should only have one point of view. And I feel like this question was made for Allegiant. Everyone is just saying Allegiant because Fleur and Trist sounded exactly the same, and they did, but everyone else has already said that, and I didn't just want to repeat it. Except I just did. Question 9 is totally should have a cover change. Vampire Academy. I actually don't hate these covers like a lot of people do. These books have actually had a cover change. It was just worse than these original covers, but I even went out of my way to purchase the older editions because I really didn't like the new covers. But I feel like they could still have better covers that really suit the tone and content of the books. Kind of like the Throne of Glass series or any of Cassandra Clare books. Just something a little more eye-catching. Question 10 is totally should have kept the original covers. For this one, I'm going with the Boys That Bite series. Look at these adorable, quirky covers. Boys That Bite, Stake That, Curls That Growl about cheerleaders who get turned into werewolves. This is a hilarious series. The first one is by far the best, but it's about twins named Sunshine and Rain, and Rain is a really like goth and really into vampires and everything, and her sister Sunny really isn't. She's more like into sports and like wearing pink instead of black. Rain actually signed up and took classes to become a vampire, but on the night that the vampire was supposed to turn her, he accidentally bit Sunny instead. And so then Sunny has to go on this like epic quest to find the Holy Grail, because the Holy Grail is apparently the only thing that can stop her from turning into a vampire. And so it's just really hilarious and really clever. And so I felt like these original covers really suited the tone of the series, but of course they changed them partway through, and they changed them to this. There are more than 6 books in this series, but I'm only going to show 3 more. Bad Blood, Soulbound, Blood Ties. Now these aren't awful, but they are pretty much like any other cover out there. You can barely even tell what this series is supposed to be about. And they're even different heights, which is just annoying. And the last question is totally should have stopped at book 1. For this one, I think I'm going to go with Rebel Belle by Rachel Hawkins. I absolutely loved the first book. It was hilarious and creative, but book 2 was just disappointing. It just pretty much ruined everything that had developed in book 1. And there's a 3rd book coming out this year, and I honestly don't know if I'm going to read it. So that is it for this book tag. I hope you enjoyed, and if you're wondering what Pascal has been doing guest starring in this video, I really didn't have a reason, but I'm gonna make one up, and that is why I would totally love to be a Disney princess. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I think anybody who thinks this tag looks like fun should totally do it, and I will see you next video. Bye! Oh, I would really like this to be continued in, so I would really like this to be question 2 is totally should have, but I also have to say I'll even write it for them. I wouldn't mind that at all. I wouldn't mind that at all. I would not mind that at all. I would mind that at all. I would not mind that at all.